Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Quick Words. Quick Words, a series focused on end time things to consider. It is part of the Man's Final Steps sequence. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah and today is March 18th, 2014. These messages are to the 144,000 in multitude, those who will be among the ranks of the children of obedience, who are not appointed unto wrath. Again, my name is Symmanayah, and let me begin. This segment is entitled Highway Living. Highway Living. My brothers and sisters, do you believe end times are here? Have you come to consider that there will be a final exodus among the children of obedience? That the 144,000 in multitude will be gathered together before the great tribulation? Excuse me. Have you considered the scriptures regarding gathering Yasharal from the four corners of the earth? Recently, I and my family took a trip. It was our third trip. My wife and I, it was the third trip to Virginia. And we witnessed much congestion along the highways, of which were somewhat shocking considering it was not any special heathen celebrated day. Yes, the highways were congested. So naturally, that lets you know we did drive. It made the trip longer than we had planned, but it was okay. The Most High Father, I must give testimony. He provided good weather, both going and coming, traveling from the Midwest to the East Coast. Before we left, there was a storm, and it had subsided, and the weather was nice. When we returned, the weather was nice, and after returning from our trip, we noticed that there were storms that hit the area in which we had traveled. So I say hallelujah for safe journey. Hallelujah to my Father, my Almighty Father Yahuwah. In the name of Yahushua, I thank him for a safe trip there and back as we begin to plan for our future, for where we believe we are compelled to go. As I began to pray along this trip, it was as though the Spirit of Yahushua brought to remembrance a time when I was doing research and discovered articles that explained more Americans are driving these days. In other words, an increasing population contributes to more people on the roads. The United States has not built enough roads to handle such congestion at a pace needed to accommodate more drivers fast enough. As I continued to pray, it was as though the Spirit of Yahushua informed me that it is necessary to warn people that there will come a time when highway living will surface. Yes, people will be living out of their vehicles along the highways. Yes, a time will come when many will be living in their vehicles along the roads, highways, freeways, etc., due to running out of gas or fuel, due to congestion, being trapped, due to chaos, due to frantic movement. End time prophecies will intensify, and sooner than many realize, a frantic population will emerge. People will begin to flee towards in or away from places in search for a place of safety. There will be brothers and sisters who will come to realize living instructions, guidance, and warnings were given to them, but there are some who will wait, who would have waited too late to act. There will be those who will respond to the warning and begin to pray intensely and seek out what the Spirit of Yahushua will have them to do. Some will get out before these conditions occur, and some will be trapped on the highway. Some may find highway living temporary, and some may grow to see it more permanent than they would have expected. Extreme drought will lead to extreme famine and food shortages. Pestilence and disease will enlarge, and we will witness chaos unfold like never before. Increased violence, civil unrest, and much more. There will come a time when, out of fear or extreme urgencies, people will fill the roadways trying to get to a place of safety. When these conditions come, many will become stuck in the congestion. Vehicles will break down. Some will run out of fuel. Some vehicles will be taken from other individuals as individuals frantically, desperately seek transportation to try to get to where they believe they will be most safe or where they believe food or water is available. Yes, this and much more unimaginable things will occur in the foreseeable future, my brothers and sisters. It will be a great time of humbling towards anyone who desires to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuwah and accept Yahushua as Mashiach. As a result of becoming trapped on roadways, people will begin to look at their vehicles and the vehicles of others. They will begin to look at them as shelter. Yes, we will witness highway living, where people will literally be living on the highways until they can discover a place that they believe will be most safe. There will be those who will become trapped on parts of the highways within the boundaries of strange cities where they don't know anyone. They will be among strangers. So some will elect to just stay on the highway and live out their cars, out their vehicles, whether it be truck, van, or what have you. Many will pray for help and deliverance. Some may find themselves in extraordinary positions with no solution in sight. There just might be those who will discover the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua directly or through one of his chosen leaders, providing leadership and guidance as to what must and will be done. Many of you will be overtaken with unbelief. Many of you will dismiss these words. But I assure you, this will not stop the coming conditions when chaos, civil unrest breaks out in your community and widespread across the country. My brothers and sisters, I realize this seemed like a hard message to accept and receive. But do you think people will just sit still when they begin to starve? Do you think people will stay in place when there is no water? Do you think people will not move when chaos breaks out and violence breaks out? Do you believe that conditions as described in scriptures regarding end-time prophecies as it relates to famine, pestilence, drought, and disease will one day cause a massive group of people and many populations to run frantically to and fro, trying to determine what they must do, where they must go? If you can accept this, if you can envision this, then it should not be hard to realize that if one is trapped on the highway and stuck in the midst of congestion, that at some point there will be those who will succumb to highway living. Pray, my brothers and sisters, study, watch. Though these words may seem far-fetched and far-reaching, for some impossible even, it will not stop what's coming over the rising. The Most High Father, Yahuwah, through his set-apart Spirit, sent in Yahushua's name, is preparing us. He is refining those who will be among the ranks of the children of obedience. There will be those who will come to remember this warning. There will be those who will respond differently than those who find themselves lost in the midst of end-time congestion. Choose wisely, my brothers and sisters. Choose wisely how you manage your decision to respond to these warnings. Choose wisely as to whether you prepare or not. Either way, it will not stop what lies ahead, my brothers and sisters. Highway living will come to be for many. Many will get caught in the snares of highway living. End times are real. I leave you with these two verses. But the Helper, the set-apart Spirit, whom the Father shall send in my name, he shall teach you all and remind you of all that I've said to you. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. My brothers and sisters, some people will say, "Oh, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid." But watch, when the realities come, we will see fear demonstrated among those who are void of hearing what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying. Let us learn to hear and respond directly through our relationship with the living Messiah, through his Spirit, or through those whom he speaks through, whether it be us one towards another, or through his leaders, or through his chosen messengers. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, consider whether or not to listen and be proactive, or prepare to be overtaken with unbelief and caught in the snare of highway living. Until next time, Stay tuned as this series, Quick Words, continues, which is part of man's final steps. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.